Hi everybody, it's Sandy from Sandy J. Altieri Fitness, and I am here today with Patrick Ryan from Greg Ryan Fitness Global, and today we're going to debunk some myths. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, but first of all, let me introduce us. We both have over 60 years experience together total in fitness.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
And we've seen it all.
We've seen it all. We've been in the fitness industry forever. I mean, I started back in the day when everybody did aerobics and, wear those...
The poofy socks.
The poofy socks.
Thong on the outside.
The thong on the outside of the leotard. So, yeah, been there, done that. So today we are going to debunk the direct sales question that I get asked quite a bit. So.
Well, one reason we wanted to do this video is because Sandy and I, our companies reach into 18 different countries. Mm-hmm. And part of our company, we wanted to create some real money or residual money in the fitness business, wellness industry. Your runway only goes up to a certain part.
Correct.
And so, we wanted to create a portion of our business that would kind of run on its own, and also help people. And a lot of people have their opinions, misconceptions, what direct sales is. We did. And so we want to kind of explain to you a little bit about why we decided to incorporate a direct sales model into our practices, and maybe debunk a little bit about what people think of it, and talk about the benefits of it, why we decided to do it, and some of those myths, so to speak.
Well, I get asked a lot, is your company a pyramid company?
Well, that's always the the question, is that the pyramid schemes.
Pyramid, right?
It's been around for hundreds of years, and so when we educate people on this pyramid thing, the first thing we talk about is, well, what constitutes a pyramid anyway? I mean, what's the definition of that? And so for me, I've been in the business world all my life. I've been self-employed since I was 17 years old. I've really not had a boss. And one of the things my father taught me was get a mentor, look at other businesses, what they were doing, and just model them. Don't create the wheel. So I started looking at how businesses were formed, or how they were structured. And if you really look at it, Apple, Starbucks, your bank, your church, your gym, everything is shaped in a triangle.
Sure.
And some people would say, oh, that's pyramid shape. Any type of business is shaped from the CEO, managers, tellers at a bank, customers. So in reality, every business known to man is shaped like a pyramid.
Sure.
So you have to decide, the person watching has to decide, well, what constitutes a pyramid anyway? So I think part of your debunking of that question is that people think that the person at the top, CEO, makes all the money.
Right.
And then the grunts down here
make nothing.
They're the grunts. In reality, if you work at a bank, the bank president makes all the money.
Right. Oh, yeah. Sure.
So direct sales is less of a pyramid, if you want to call it that, than where you're working at now, or your church, or the bank, or the gym. So what we want to talk about a little bit for us was what direct sales is, what the benefits were to us, and that was part of it. We wanted to teach people how businesses are organized anyway.
Right.
Apple, Starbucks. We'll use that as two big examples of what direct sales really is. So, I don't know if that helps you on the debunking of what a pyramid is. The other part was direct sales as a whole. You and I decided that at this point in our life, we just got our AARP cards. So we decided that we needed, real residual income.
Right.
And we studied business models, we knew business, and we knew the successful businesses, but we wanted to create or leverage our time and our money.
Right.
We weren't going to be able to train everybody for the rest of our life. Our bodies were failing. We wanted, so just like investing in the stock market, we wanted to leverage our money.
Right.
And Robert Kiyosaki talks about this in the Rich Dad Poor Dad about the 4 quadrants. You're either an employee, you're self-employed, you're a big business, or you're an I, which is the investor. So we're all trying to get to that point where at the end of our lifetime where that money is working for us. Okay, so for us, we wanted to keep educating people on health and wellness, but we also wanted a portion of our business that would keep turning like compound interest. And direct sales business model kind of helped us do that.
Right. Yeah. It's a great thing. I mean, you can not work and you still got money coming in, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and so we always, like for us, we partnered with a company called Pharmanex, and they were a publicly traded company, and they had nutritional products, and they had this little toy you see in the front was a piece of technology that would test oxidative stress and different things. So we had validation tools that we could work with. So for us, we were already, the other myth is that, in direct sales, we'll have to be a salesman.
Right.
Okay. We're always selling something.
True.
So, you don't have to be a salesperson to be in the direct sales business. I was very skeptical because I had some bad history with not the companies, but the people that were involved in the companies, the approaches and different things. So, but I got involved with Pharmanex, which I introduced you to, based on this Pharmanex biophotonic scanner that helped test people's oxidative stress levels and things like that. The other thing that we did, we wanted to free up our time. Remember, a couple of years ago, we wanted to free up and leverage our time. And direct sales is one of those business models which you're creating a network. It's no different than Starbucks. It's no different than Apple. All you're doing is creating a little store. In our case, it's all online. We have no inventory, no overhead. We were already talking to people about health and wellness.
Right.
This was kind of more of a vehicle. So while we were doing was creating stores or franchises.
Right.
So people say, well, all these people are getting paid more at the top and you're the grunt.
Right. That's what everybody talks about.
Well, if you're Starbucks, all we're doing, in my case, was I had a store, and really my store was Greg Ryan Fitness Global. And I was going to create another store, so I said to Sandy, we got this little toy. We got products that we can prove that they work through this little biophotonic scanner. I'm going to help you create a store or a franchise, another Starbucks. So then she would get customers and stuff from that. Well, just like Starbucks, the more stores or franchises that I helped create through Sandy or somebody else, then I would receive a royalty check. Well, people said, well, you're going to make more money than Sandy.
Right.
Well, that's not true. Because Sandy's store might be in Los Angeles, California. And my store is somewhere in Wyoming. So my store is a little bit smaller than Sandy's store. So Sandy creates more volume, so to speak, sells more coffee or whatever that product she is, and she can create her own income. So we created a network just like Starbucks, just like Apple, but you had the same opportunity I did, and that was your choice.
Right.
So the whole theory was the more money that Sandy would make, the more money Greg would make. Well, that doesn't sound like a pyramid.
No.
To me whatsoever.
No.
So once I understood the business model, then my job was to find more Sandys. And Sandy's job was to find more Sandys or more Gregs.
Yeah.
And so what was really neat for us, as we started talking to people, which we were already doing, we just found people that kind of thought like we did. got over some of these stupid hang-ups,
Right. Yeah.
and wanted to change, either have a purpose, make more money, better health, or more time. So what Sandy and I realized is the more people we got to help people, the more time we had.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
the funny little story is, we met how many years ago? A couple years ago?
2.5, almost 3.
3 years ago. And you hadn't flown in an airplane for 15 years, since 9/11.
But yeah, pre 9/11, I think.
So since we met, how many trips have we taken? 19, 20?
It's probably almost 20.
Almost 20 trips we've taken in 2 years.
Yeah.
Why? We were able to free up some of our time. My company, I live in Colorado. Sandy here lives in Colorado. I'm involved with some NFL football teams, different things. It's great. But it also allowed us to travel. And
Yes.
19 trips, 20 trips in 2 years, not too bad.
Yeah.
So for us, direct sales was the ability to free up our time, educate people. We just fit it into our training business. We didn't. It wasn't a pressure sales thing. Once we understood the business model, that it wasn't a pyramid,
Right.
and the company that we were involved in, FarmNext, was a publicly traded company, so we could find out their books and all that. We decided that that was a good part of our fitness and wellness business. What we didn't really understand was how this thing grew from a networking standpoint that Robert Kawasaki was talking about, or Bill Gates was talking about, or the business model of Steve Jobs,
Right.
or Starbucks. So what we did was just model them.
Yeah.
And we debunked all of those stupid myths about pyramids. Because if I go work at a gym, that's more of a pyramid than direct sales.
True.
If I go to church, or if I go to the bank, it was more of a pyramid. So I don't know, I can't speak for you, but for us, for me, I wanted it as a portion of my business that I could educate people on with the biophotonic scanner, and also free up my time to do other things. My parents are aging, so I wanted to spend some time with them. I couldn't do that if I was working for somebody else.
On a 9 to 5.
So I had to get over my little ego trip, and I had to also say, well, okay, what's the business side of this? What is there real money in this? I'm not trying to be superficial, but I needed money to free up my time to do other things. I made a lot of money doing other things, but I was only as good as my last job.
Right. Right.
And if I broke my arm, my parents got sick, then what am I going to do?
Right.
Now we take 19 trips, 20 trips, the money, if you understand leveraging and how this all works, for us that was kind of what we wanted to do. So it just kind of took a life of its own.
And it does. And so, yeah, that's great explanation. I mean, hopefully it cleared up a lot of things and a lot of questions that people might have, because I get asked that all the time.
Well, yeah, it's a vehicle. Most people work. I made a decision at 17 years old that nobody was going to tell me how much I was worth. I had some tough times. But now, in my early 50s, there's a freedom to not have to worry about a lot of those things. Our bills are paid because we're just helping other people. We're not trying to push anything on them. We're not doing anything different than a public store is doing.
Right.
We're just doing we're not doing anything that Apple's not doing. We're just getting a cut of it.
That's right.
I mean, and then the common sense thing is, why in the heck would you pay retail for something when you can pay wholesale? I never understood that. People would say, why are you doing direct sales? Because I want to buy stuff wholesale.
Yeah, well, you got Costco with a wholesale card.
Exactly.
You've got Amazon now with Whole Foods. So everything's going toward that discounted wholesale price. Nobody wants to pay retail for anything anymore.
Right. And we don't have any overhead like
No.
Costco does.
Nope.
We don't have any liability
Nope.
like Costco does. We don't have any employees
Right.
like Costco does. Okay, we've taken 20 trips.
Yeah.
Our overhead is just our travel. We have 100% market share. We have freedom to do the things that we want to do. We have a grandeur scheme, a purpose. I mean, what's not to like about something like that? We just had to get over our pride,
Right.
and we had to do our research on what direct sales business model really was,
Mm-hmm.
and fit that into our business. I mean, isn't that what people are working toward anyway?
Oh.
Is freedom of time,
Yep.
health, being healthier,
Mm-hmm.
a purpose. So for us, we're mobile. We can travel anywhere in the world. So when people come up to both of us and say, "Why do you have a direct sales business?" Why not?
That's right. Why not?
Why would we want to work for somebody else? 99% of people are broke
Mm-hmm.
at the end of their career. They're slave to their boss. Their boss is telling them how much they're worth. Nobody was going to tell me that. So you and I can work as much as we want to, or as little as we want to. We basically work part-time now
Right.
because we want to.
Mm-hmm.
And we take trips whenever we want to. So when I got over the fact that it wasn't a pyramid, it wasn't a sale, you wasn't out there pushing, you weren't going door to door, and then I understood the business model, it's like,
Why not?
I could not do it.
It's true.
And then it kind of took a life of its own. And for us, for fitness, it just made perfect sense.
Oh yeah. Well, there's so many direct marketing companies out there now. I mean, everything you look at. I mean, just name a few. Miriam, It Works, Beauty Counter. They're all direct marketing.
Yeah, and everybody's got their opinions on, and we're not here to poo-poo anyone,
Right.
but but you have to look at the business model.
Mm-hmm.
It's the number one business model in the world.
Yep.
You can say what you want to about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can badmouth the people that's probably approached you in an awkward way, and you can even scrutinize a company and call it whatever you will. But the bottom line is, from a business model standpoint, all the big players have publicly come out and said direct sales is the number one business model in the world. We have no overhead. We have no liability. We have no employees.
No.
We can go anywhere in the world and start a company, and we can write it off.
Yeah. That's what's so good about it.
I mean, come on.
Plus, you know what I like about it? Any product we order comes right to our door, automatically deducted.
Just like
off-
Amazon.
Just like Amazon, it's deducted off my credit card or out of my checking account every month,
Yeah.
and I never run out of my product.
We're not doing anything different
No.
than the big boys are doing.
No.
We're not. We're just taking back our own life.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of me going down to a big brand name store, all I have to do is go on the internet, click, it comes to my door
Yep.
at wholesale,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go tell somebody else about it and create like a little store.
Yep. And that's all.
And I'm getting paid the same amount that Junior's getting paid down the street.
Yeah.
No more, no less. And it's all about word of mouth. To me, it was just common sense.
Common sense.
Especially in the fitness and wellness industry. We could go on a whole different tangent with that.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
people are just, most trainers and wellness people are broke. Most doctors are broke. So for us, direct sales was, and incidentally, 80% of the women that have made over $100,000 a year or more have done it in direct sales. So if you're not making $100,000 a year, then you might want to look into something. But for us, it was lifestyle.
Yeah.
We just weren't going to work for somebody
No.
for the rest of our life.
No, definitely not.
And if the old cliche, if we could do it, somebody else can do it. But we're really just doing what we do every day. We just educate people on health and just go from there.
Great. That's awesome. That was a great explanation. I mean, even when I first got into it, it explained a lot to me too. Because everybody's had a bad experience with a pyramid scheme, and nowadays direct marketing is the way to go. I mean, everything ships to your door. I mean, you order it off online. You order your groceries online.
Amazon just bought Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're direct sales.
Mm-hmm.
All the food's going to be shipped to your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the way of the future.
It's the future.
And if people don't see that, then I just don't know what to tell them.
Yeah. I agree. Well, hopefully this explanation debunked that myth on pyramid schemes and explained what the direct sales marketing is. If you guys have any questions on direct sales marketing or how to even get into this, you can message Greg and I through Facebook, or I'll leave our email addresses at the end of this video.
Okay.
So we are uncut,
Uncensored. What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get.
And, you know, we'll be glad to answer all your questions for you. We're just here to kind of tell you our story and why we're doing it.
Exactly.
And if it fits in with you, great. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, exactly. So, awesome.
Okay.
Well, thanks everybody for watching, and have an awesome day.
See you later.
Bye.